Namaste everyone. Are you all able to see the screen? Yeah. So let's all be seated comfortably. Back spine straight, sit tall. Check your pelvis area, check your back, check your shoulders, open up the chest. Relax your shoulders. Breathe out completely. Relax your facial muscles and shoulder area. Breathe in and breathe out. Allow the system to settle down, to tune into yourself. Take conscious breaths in and out. Join your palms in Namaskara Mudra. 3 rounds of Om. Inhale. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्थेष्वभिज्ञं स्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयः यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
Namaste everyone.
नमस्ते।
Shall I stop the share and Aarti will start? Yeah.
So last week we had just started with the Chatushloki. So this is there's a pre-story, right? So Narayana was lying down, and in his yoga nidra, and that stem of lotus comes out of his navel, and when it comes out of his navel, Brahma appears. And when Brahma comes, he looks around, he sees the whole deluge, the pralaya, there's nothing around. He's wondering, where am I? And all he sees is that stem of that lotus. And he goes down the stem of the lotus and he's not able to find the end. He's thinking, where did I come from? And he's not able to find out. And then he comes back and suddenly he hears the voice, tapas, tapas, and he does tapas for 1,000 years. And when he does, after 1,000 years of tapas, Narayana appears in front of him, and he gives him, and he tells him, now you have to go ahead and do the creation. And he just gives him 4 shlokas, through just 4 shlokas. And those 4 shlokas have now become the 18 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. But just through 4 verses, Brahma had gotten enlightenment, and he had the power to create. So Prabha wants to brief the first one before we move on to this.
Yeah, you just share, Prabha. Meanwhile, so very beautifully, Swamiji Aparajitanandaji in his talks narrates this story of Brahma. So many points, I'm not recollecting, few that came up as Aarti was narrating. So the moment Brahma is out, he sees only cosmic water. Okay, and he's all by himself. There is nothing to do. So he is wondering what to do. And he looks within because there is nothing else. Okay, he looks within. When he is looking within, that is when he hears tapa, tapa, tapa. Okay, this is a very important thing. We will be seeing that in Chatushloki also today. So from what he sees, it is only cosmic waters and there is nothing around. So whatever he is actually perceiving through his senses, okay, is different, but what he's listening from within is something which is in contrast to what he is perceiving, because he doesn't see anybody at all. Okay, just imagine someone sitting alone, quiet, with just in that cosmic water, all alone, and he just listens to some sound. Okay, so that logic fails there. That is, Brahma cannot actually, if he starts to see from where is this coming from, do I listen to this voice? Okay, so Brahma did not doubt at all. His Shraddha in that, what do you say, that intuition, maybe that intuitive, the sound that he listened to, he just held on to that. So we will see that in Chatushloki, how hold on to that reality. That is what we will be coming to. So all his senses failed everywhere, and he looked within and he held on to that. And tapa, 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 he does tapasya not for 5 days and 10 days. Nowadays we pray for 2-3 days and then we say japa, we do, and then we say my mind is not quietening. Okay, but Brahma ji himself does it for 1,000 years. His 1,000 years. We saw the time, right? So that long, with full Shraddha, then only he gets the Chatushloki Bhagavatam from Narayana.
So when Bala was saying, it just struck me what Raghuramji was talking about is, I think somebody asked a question that when I want to do something, something stops me always. And Raghuramji beautifully said, sometimes the intellect becomes our enemy. So if Brahma, I was just relating here, if Brahmaji, he heard this voice, and if he was sitting there and trying to analyze and using his intellect, saying that should I listen, is it required, how can a voice come, what is the scientific studies behind this, all these things, if he was using his energies in that, so then where he would have done this creation itself, or where he would have used the words, the subtle 3 words, tapa, 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 those 3 words he was able to feel that this must be the voice of Bhagavan telling me something to do. And that's it. He did not use his intellect, he did not use, there was no I here, no doership, nothing. He just felt that he needs to do it, and that's it. So I think that also subtly becomes our own lesson, that whatever we want, we need to be doing it just, and there's through some sources we think that through some Puranic stories, no voice will come from the sky and some boom sound will come and all this, but it could be just from a friend, it just come from a message, just from someone, it could be something, and that kind of motivates us. And when we start thinking, is it required, is it do that, why should I do it, all these things, then nothing can be done in this universe. I find many great people people who are doing great service gets that some kind of voice they are getting it. Even when I was reading today about Swami Vivekananda's story, he hears a voice, he hears the sound of God, he hears he sees something in Kanyakumari stone there, and that makes him gives him an affirmation that I need to do something. So that is what we see this here, the role of Brahmaji, the role of the supreme being itself. And that is what this Chatushloki Bhagavata, we read this first one, and the what, how is it divided. The first shloka is the nature of Brahman, the second is the nature of Maya, nature of the world, third and the means to attain Brahman. So we finished the first one as the last class. We try to understand that I alone am, I alone was, am and was, please remember that. So I think all of you kind of understood that, and kind of giving a revision that, so the Bhagavan is telling that what all you're seeing before me, everything is created by me. So do not think that let us have that expansion of thought there rather than a constriction of thought. And we told this example about how from the cloth is coming from the thread, and the thread is coming actually from the cotton. And so, but we need to think that the deepest source there, that is, what is my deepest the supreme, what is the deepest truth there is a cotton there. So from there maybe Brahmaji is been given a voice that okay, come on, create the thread, create the planets, create this, create that. So this is where we explored last time. And sorry, and so that's it. So this is what we all felt, that the nature of Brahman, every person has that Brahman, has that light within us. And somebody even shared a beautiful WhatsApp message, right, just some 3 to 4 days ago, saying that we human beings tend to climb and tend to go here, and finally actually Brahma decided that it's better to hide the divinity within that person itself.
Yeah.
So fantastic it was. So and that is what this so whole beautiful journey is all about. And today or yesterday Harini posted about Maya, and that is what Bala is going to start with that. So over to Bala. Bala, should I do the shlokas here?
If you can allow me to share the screen.
Oh, okay. 1 second.
You're recording, right, Prabha? Somebody has asked. Yeah.
It is live. It is live.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, we saw this, right? Oh, sorry. This is all. Yes, this is what we saw. This is the first one, right? So, Agre, I alone was, I alone am, I alone will be. Okay, he declares, Narayana is declaring. Okay, I am beyond this duality. Okay, so we saw, yes, many beautiful examples with, how he alone is. In spite of it, as I am living in this world, I don't see, right? I am caught up. Why is that? That is where he is going now to the next verse. The next verse, he says, Rite tham yata prati. I can't see. What? How do I minimize this? Those controls are here. Okay. Put it here. Rithertham yatha pratiyeta. Okay, so, okay, I'll chant this first. Rithertham yatha pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. What is it that is stopping me from seeing the reality? Okay, so Bhagavan says it is the power of Maya. Again, Bhagavan says it is my power of Maya, Bhagavan's power of Maya. What does this Maya do? It does Ritertham Yata pratyeta. Okay. What is not there, it projects. Okay. It projects what is not there. Na pratyeta chatmani. What is there, it veils. Okay. So we will look at these two are the basis of Maya. Okay. This is where we need to look at what is this projecting and veiling. Vikshepa, avarana. The two things that constitute this Maya, because of which we experience Maya. So this beautiful picture, if you see, okay, it's just a projection. Someone is watching, just like how we all are watching the movie, right? So our senses, whatever this body, mind, intellect equipment is there, using this, I am looking at the world. Yeah, we will see how it is a projection. Yeah, this is not real, basically. That is what it is coming. It is not as I see it. How it is there, I do not know. But right now I'm seeing the screen, I'm seeing this. It may not be as I see it. So that is the projection part. Avarana part is veiling. So something which is as it is, I don't see it. Okay, or it is beyond the limitations of my senses to perceive that through my senses. So one example, all of us must have seen this, right? When in a very hot day, when we are driving on a tar road. Okay, this is a, I think, 5th, 6th standard science question also, right? Why we don't see? Why? It is like water, right? We see from the glass when we see, it is like water there. So what is a projection? Water is the projection. Because of the limitation of the senses, my eyes, and the convection current that is happening on the road, and the glass which is reflecting, so many instruments are there. Okay, so because of all those instruments, what has happened is the water is getting projected. That is vikshepa. The reality there is, in this picture, is the road. So that is completely veiled by the projection. Yeah, so this is how Bhagavan says Maya works. Okay, and all this is happening in self, where a self is Atma. Self is that Bhagavan Antaryaman within each one of us. He says happening in that. Okay, so he gave us this big puzzle, and now let us see, try to understand. Yeah, because Brahmaji understood. For us, it is going to take. So just few examples we will look at. Okay. See, why do we say our senses are limited? Okay. See, beautiful pic. We will get a lot of pictures in the internet if we go. Okay. How the way a human sees an yellow flower, for example, the left. Okay. The yellow flower. The same thing down, if you see, the bee sees it like that. Okay. So, which is real here? Okay, something is projected on some reality, isn't it? We do not know what is a reality, and some projection is there because of my instrument called I and the mind. I think we have done this. Aarti has done that exercise many times, right? We see it within us, and how we are seeing that flower totally is dependent on this instrument that is given to me as a human body. How a bee sees is totally dependent on the bee's eyes, isn't it? So even this pink flower, for me it is a pink flower, and I'll say how beautiful that color is. Look at the color shade, and I am into it. Yes, it is projecting that. So I am into that vikshepa. That's why they say into the Maya. Bee looks at it, and for it, maybe that nectar, where it can find the nectar, that will be so prominent there. Okay, so that it can go and take it. So the vision, even here, it is very interesting. Look at the way we see it, and look at the way the snake sees it. It is just that, that what do they say? Thermal body, right? That the snake vision is. So, which is real here? So all of us are seeing. So you're seeing me like this. I don't know if my body is like this, right? So the entire thing here is, the point to note here is, the world I perceive is completely limited with whatever instruments I have, these jnanendriyas and the manas also, because Jnanendriyas, yes, it is limited, and the mind puts in so many filters also. So with that only, I perceive a very limited world, not only limited in accordance to the limitation of my senses, okay, or the way it works. So when I perceive, so there is a reason for this also, okay. I perceive, a human instrument perceives it like this, a bee instrument perceives like this, a snake instrument perceives. This is all for the survival of that body. Yeah, that is a logical explanation given, okay, at this body level. So what is it, the Maya now? Okay, this is what the body is perceiving. Each of the instruments are perceiving it in this way. What is Maya in this? Maya is when I get caught with it and I say this is real. Okay, what I perceive is real. The moment I get caught with it, the moment I get attached to it, the moment I say this is real, black and white, good, bad, okay, beautiful, ugly, whatever, okay, right, wrong. So I am giving reality to this perception and start looking at things in within this frame of duality. That is what is Maya. So we need to understand, yes, this projection happens. Yes, this avarana happens because of the limited thing. So this is where I have to play this life. Yet there is a reality behind. That is what Bhagavan is going to in the next verse.
Can I say something here?
Yes, please. Yes,
Huh?
please.
Okay, because I was just
Yeah. Please,
this
please.
is so interesting because as you were saying, my mind weaved on a story of my own, I'd say, to because this is so powerful actually. So actually, not only a human and a bee, between humans itself, between like me, you, everyone, we in our own perception is so different. Like you might be seeing me differently, Aarti might be looking at me differently. So in order to understand, I was just thinking that if we can think that there are four houses. So if you all of us, let us imagine four houses facing something, okay, and in one house there is a peephole, and that's it. There is nothing and only a peephole, one small hole. In another, so and the person who's sitting in the house, inside the house, was asked, what do you see through that peephole? And so the person just looked through that and say, I can see green color leaf. I think this place is filled with greenery. Okay. So the another house, that person had a little bit more bigger window. And now somebody asked him, what do you see? And he says that, I see yellow flowers, green plants. Oh, this is actually looks like a sunflower field. Okay. And then the another person has a bigger thing. And what do you see? So again, to say that I see red flowers, I see some coconut trees, and I see yellow flowers. So looks like it's a park. Okay. And somebody, the fourth person, is having a huge like ceiling windows, and when that window is open, then that person is seeing the sky, the water, the field, the flowers, and some kachada and some beautiful things. All is there, everything is there. So this four houses, it depends on the way we are looking. So the world I perceive is through my mind, through my senses. So what is the state of my mind? Through that I'm seeing through my eyes, which is one of the sense organs. And what is my way of seeing? So what I see, so each time maybe it will help us, to even do a role play. These things come into the head, because a role play also helps. Because again, today I was watching a video where this is all of us, let us imagine the situation. The mother-in-law is standing in the kitchen and cutting some vegetables. The daughter-in-law is in the room attending a very important phone call from her boss. So daughter-in-law is inside the room, does not know what is mother-in-law doing. Mother-in-law is in the kitchen, does not know daughter-in-law what she's doing. Now mother-in-law cuts, by chance cuts her finger, okay, and she is shouting, okay, and then she says, okay, my daughter-in-law is me, for example. She's shouting, Prabha, Prabha, Prabha. The daughter-in-law is in an important meeting, office meeting is happening. So the daughter-in-law is getting disturbed. The daughter-in-law does not know. So daughter-in-law's perception is, why is she calling me now? So many things she's caught in her own bubble or caught in her own perceptions. The mother-in-law is in her own perception saying that, Arey, why this girl is what kind of family is she been coming to? Why can't she come and help me? See, this nowadays, this generation children does not come when you call for help. See how what all web of thoughts come. You're entangled in the world of Maya through your, and the daughter-in-law is entangled in her world. What is, she does not even understand that I'm in the middle of a meeting and she's calling me. So so here is that, like Bala says, no, what you don't see is existing. What you see is actually beautiful. Both people have their own reasons. What you see is you don't see at all. Did I make sense? What you don't see, that is, you are not seeing the actual person there, what they are actually doing, but you have already are entangled in your own perceptions. But what you are not seeing actually is the truth. That is, the daughter-in-law is busy, the mother-in-law is hurt, but both of them have their reasons. But the problem is each of our projections are so much entangled there, and so then the clash happens. Then we get entangled in Maya, and then where we can see the light within, where we can see the light within another person, because you can't even see the light there. It is completely in suit, so in black suit there. So that is the way I would say, if I want to project, my projections are in the other person's projection.
Based on what Prabha brought up, there's a very interesting exercise for all of us that we can do, which can make us aware of this Maya Shakti. So if you see this Maya, just, I don't know what is the most disturbing for each one of us. Maybe my child is most disturbing for me, or my husband, or at work somebody is I get most disturbed by somebody. Take 1 hour in a day and just observe that person without acting, without saying, without doing anything, and just observe and hold back from doing anything or acting or doing. 1 hour of the day, watch that child or watch that husband or watch, maybe sometimes for some people it could be the maid, I don't know. So whoever it is, watch, or somebody working, and just watch what is happening in that mind at that point in time, and how we can so easily get pulled with that and act. For us, it becomes very real. When I am just observing and not doing anything, that is when I can become aware of that. Otherwise, there's an avarana, there's a veiling. I don't even know that there is something, this is all Maya. I think, no, but this person is acting like that. This person talks in this tone all the time. This person is speaking to me like this all the time. It will disturb, right? If that person speaks like that, how will I not? So, that is very real for me. But when I sit and I observe, I will be able to see the veiling of all these thoughts running in my mind. Then I can be aware of this veiling, that is, and separate myself, so that, and get a little aware of that Maya that I get entangled in. Right now, that separation is not there, but that Maya that I get entangled in, it is like that spider's web, which has been spun out and everything is getting caught in it. No, we don't even know that we are caught in it. We think that is real. We are so convinced that is real. That observation, 1 hour observation per day, can make us aware of this. Yeah.
Observation of what is happening in my mind.
Yeah, even that person only. You see that person and observe your mind. That's all.
Be that beautifully they say, right? Choiceless awareness. Do not judge, don't do anything. Just step back and watch the mind. Very simple. Sometimes I feel, the mind is just running. Forget about people, all that also. When the mind is running, one thought after, just watch the thought stream. how senseless they are. One thought after the other thought after the other thought, and they are not even connected. These are beautiful techniques for us to realize how we are caught up with this projection. Something keeps getting projected, one thought after the other thought, because mind's work is that. Okay, I get caught up. And when I identify with one thought, that is where I am into this web. Maybe we can all beautifully, we know this web of fear, web of guilt, web of conditionings. This is what we, and recently I heard it was something fantastic. Anything that we have not digested, there we are caught up. See, imagine at the body level, the food, right? The food that I take in, when there is no digestion, what happens? It builds as toxins somewhere in the body. Similarly, whatever experiences that I go through, okay, there are so many things that I don't digest with. That those are the toxins are the guilt, the toxins are the fear, the toxins are all the meanings that I attached to, and the judgments that I come up with. Okay, the image of people, image of myself, those things are the toxins that are building in our mind. So with that, without even my knowledge, I'm building this web. Okay, and initially it is very enjoyable because mind is so busy doing it. At one point in time, it gets very painful. So I think that is the Maya's way of getting us out of Maya. Okay, it gives us a lot of pain. So the pain is the symptom for us to know that I am entangled in Maya. Most of us, I think, even Kunti Mata, that's what she said, in a different context. But here, I know I'm entangled in Maya only when there is a pain. When there is a toxin, there is a disease in the body, and the body shouts, come on, I need attention. Similarly, so much of undigested experience. As simple as, we even hear, right? People who are above 40, 45 also say, I could not go to that university and study in US because my father could not give me the financial support. So I don't want my son to, what is happening here is, I don't want my son to face such a situation. So he is now, after, earning money because he doesn't want his son to face it. What is happening there? He is in that web. What has he projected for himself is, okay, I'm just taking a very common example, which I hear from many of my generation. So here what happens is, that undigested experiences, I could not go to that university and study. Okay, that acceptance of the situation at that age is not there. So that has become an undigested experience in his mind. So now when he has his child, that is projecting as a fear, right? I do not want to be a parent who is not in a position to give what is needed for the child. That scenario may not even arise. I am projecting some scenario, okay? And because of that, I may even lose to see a reality of the child. The child may not even be interested to go and study there. The child's interest could be entirely different. So there are many, it is very complicated web actually, right? I don't know if anyone wants to share any such thing, you're welcome, because it's a daily thing for us. Undigested experience.
Yeah, this is very common, right? Even in parenting, when we were small, we had that. I looked around and my parents could not afford this for me. So I don't want my child to feel that sense of deprivation. So I give them everything that I let them. We did not enjoy. We were not able to buy these things. So let us buy these things for our children at least. And then overdoing that, when you are coming from this vikshepa, there is you are coming, it's an agitation. It's an agitation caused by that avarana, that veiling power of that Maya, where we are caught in this undigested experience. So what is it that creates this vikshepa, this avarana, this veiling or this Maya within us? It's our memories, past undigested memories, okay, which becomes our conditionings. It could be our future anxieties, which can also stem from my vasanas, in fact, right? all of these come like thoughts and emotions, and they are distorting the truth for us completely. And even though the truth is there, we are like in a dark room. We are not able to see. Everything is there. It is not like it is not there. It's not like something has to be, and I have to be enlightened doesn't mean some new knowledge has to come. It is there. It is just that light has to be switched on so that I can see things clearly. Now I'm searching everything in the darkness, and I think that is the reality, not knowing that I am in darkness.
So Bhagavan says,
Kavya is unmuted herself.
No, it's Aarti. Aarti, you have to change your name.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. It didn't strike me. Okay.
Anyone wants to share anything here? We'll go ahead. No. So we are very clear, right? There is no doubt. We all are caught in our own imagined web. And look at the pain, in his face. So the pain is the alarm for us. Otherwise, we are just nicely spinning our own webs, busy spinning our own webs and saying, yeah, spinning web is okay. Many people say, right, why should we have this entire project of spirituality? I am fine where I am. I'm so happy. So we are still in that web spinning mode. Okay, at some point in time, pain strikes. Only when the pain strikes, we realize, oh, there is something now. How do I get out of the pain? Then we start looking at, so this entangled. So basically the power of this projection and veiling, the Vikshepa and Avarana, they entangle us. When we start, that is there. Okay, the Maya power is there. This is how the mind works. This is how my sense organs work. Okay, so again, we need to accept and digest it. Instead, what we do, we entangle ourselves in that. Okay. So what Bhagavan says is, yes, okay, I know. But right now I'm entangled. What to do? Yes, how do I accept everything? That is where he is coming to. Okay. So in the second shloka, he says about this Maya. He says, now I am not able to experience Bhagavan, who is only there. I alone am, he declares, right? Who is only there, I'm not able to experience because of this projection, because of this avarana. Okay. Now, how do I come out of it? Right? That is what is the next step for us. Because I know I'm entangled, how do I come out? So Bhagavan says, this entire thing, I alone am, yes. But because of Maya, what has happened? Think that it is not like, it's like a mixture of, I am there everywhere, but you are seeing only what your mind, your apparatus is projecting. Okay. Slowly take away. Don't give reality to the projection. Take that away, like, and disentangle and start looking at me. So he says, how can that be done? So we have to sharpen our intellect, that viveka. There are two methods, viveka, bhakti. Okay, we will look at each one of them. It says viveka. So as long as I am focusing on this Maya, okay, yes, the Maya is at one point, until the point I, experience pain, I'm entangled in the Maya. But the moment the pain is there, a symptom is there. But now I need to work on the correction. What do you say? The medicine for that, right? I cannot go into the pain again and again and again. I need to get out of it. So focus on the medicine. Okay, increase the potency of the medicine, and then this will go away. So what he says, as long as I'm focusing on this Maya, I am ignoring the reality. That is ignorance. Very beautifully, Raghuramji puts that as ignorance. I really like the way he explains. Ignore the reality is ignorance. It is not lack of knowledge. We have all knowledge needed for the world. The moment I say lack of knowledge, people don't realize. Ignore the reality, I am in ignorance. The moment that ignoring reality is not there, when I start focusing on the reality, okay, then knowledge comes. That is what they say, right? Asat to sat. Jigna, what is that? Asatoma sat kamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Yeah. So never ignore the reality. When we ignore the reality, so that is what Viveka does. Viveka, what it does is shift the attention to the real. Now, how do we do it? He says, for that, understand how the world is now. Okay, I am caught up in Maya. Now I have to shift the focus now. Okay, how do I shift the focus? He says, first understand how it is. Understand the mix of my projection, the mix of my way, the whatever the Maya has veiled, and the mix with that reality. Where is it and how is it? Okay, for that he says, Yatha mahanti bhutani. Bhuteshu cha vasheshvana. Okay, leave this. So basically, what he says is, just like how the Pancha Bhutas, okay, have entered our body is made of Pancha Bhutas, right? As long as I see this as my body, I don't see the Pancha Bhuta. Okay, but when I see this, when it is like made of Pancha Bhuta, yet I don't see Pancha Bhuta when I'm caught up with the form of the body. Okay, but they are made of Pancha Bhuta. It is like, it seems like the Pancha Bhuta has entered the body. It seems like that, but actually it is not. Okay, everything is Pancha Bhuta, and there is a form here that my senses are perceiving. Okay, so he says, just like that, I have also, entered but not entered into this creation, into this Maya. So what it means is, even in Bhagavad Gita, he says that. Okay, he says, just like, see, if the body is not there, Panchabhuta is still there. Which is more real? Panchabhuta is real. Yeah, and if the we cannot just because my body, something happens in the body, the Panchabhutas are not affected by that. Yeah, yet the body is made of Panchabhuta. It is like that, but everything is made of Bhagavan only. Yes, it is a beautiful example he's giving so that this intellect understands a little bit. So this everything is made of Bhagavan only, made of, or everything is Bhagavan only. As long as I am stuck with the name and the form, I will not see Bhagavan. That is ignorance. That is in the Vasha of Maya. Yes, but the more subtler we are able to go to and tune to Bhagavan, then like Prahalada, we see only Bhagavan and there is no name and form. Yeah, in the Panchabhuta, okay, Bhagavan is veiled. Yeah, so use the same Panchabhuta. What do they say? Yes, Bhagavan is veiled, right? So using the same Panchabhuta, now we can actually, the Panchabhuta will merge into Bhagavan. You understand? That is what he's saying. So everything, when you see the body, everything actually merges with Panchabhuta only. It is made of Panchabhuta. At the same time, when I'm stuck with this, hand and leg and the organs, I'm not going to see the Panchabhutas. Similarly, when I am stuck with the name and form outside, that is Maya. I don't see Bhagavan there. It says, I am in them. This is the very powerful thing that Krishna declares. He says, I am in them. Okay. They are in me. I am not in them. Okay. So, which means they is the entire creation. So Krishna says, everything is in me. The self. I am not in them. The moment my perception becomes the name and form, I don't see Krishna. Or I don't see Bhagavan. That is what he says. It is about the way we look at it. Yeah. The subtlest is, so for that to get a little more clear, we will look at. So what is it that we need to do is sharpen the Viveka. What does the Viveka do? It has to tune to the real. which is more real, and not, give reality to the unreal. Okay. So one very simple example is this water cycle. If you take, yeah, in water cycle, look at that. Everywhere actually, as clouds, it is water. In the mountain, it is water. In the glacier, it is water. Of course, in the flowing river, we see water. Under the soil, it is water. Yes, everywhere, this water is there. And the cycle goes on. Okay. But when I'm caught with the soil, I don't see water. When I'm caught with the atmosphere, I don't see water vapor. When I am caught with only the glacier as a mountain, I don't see water there. Yeah. So like that, but everywhere there is water. And without water, all these are not going to be there also. The water is the one which is nourishing the entire life. Okay. It is subtly present everywhere. It is subtly nourishing everything. Yet, when I'm caught up with the name and form called the mountain and the puddle and the soil and the tree and the fruit and the leaf, which also has water, which is nourished by water, I'm caught with that. I don't see water. So water can say here, yes, I am in them. No, they are in me. I am not in them. Okay, water will say now here. That's how Bhagavan is saying. No? So water is saying, because they are in me, because only because of water, everything is there. They are in me. Now, I am not in them, meaning when I see the fruit, I don't see water. When I see the mud, sand, I don't see water. When I see the grass, I don't see water. But water is subtly present everywhere. So this is one exercise. So this, the more we kind of see everything, start seeing like this, our intellect becomes subtle. Very beautifully, Gurudev says, the gross intellect is the one which analyzes everything that is outside, the material. So this, it becomes subtle. Yeah, this is where we sharpen our viveka. Yes, go ahead, please.
So when you say they are in me and I am not in them, at one level, I feel like, it's the consciousness pervading everywhere. Immediately the mind goes outside, and this body is full of cells and is full of atoms packed together. And so like air and space, it is there in that space between every atom. That's one kind of thing. But we also know he is there within us. Okay. So coming back to that earlier dream, waking and deep sleep state thing, why is he saying I am in them, but they are not in me?
No, they are in me.
They are in me, but I am not in them, is because he is in the dream, in the waking state. Everything is there in him. The consciousness is the one which is perceiving the whole world. It is only because the consciousness is there that the world is there. So the world does not exist if the consciousness does not exist. Correct? In the dream also, the dream is in him, but he is not in the dream. Right? The dream is in him. The deep sleep state is in him. So this whole thing, everything that we are seeing is in that consciousness within me. Everything I'm perceiving is because that consciousness is shining on my mind where that image is being formed. But he is separate from all of this. Is this okay? I know this is very playing of words anyway. Okay, so.
Just this is a very powerful word to meditate on, okay? To focus on the reality and not to get caught with Maya. Okay, they are in me, I am not in them. The moment I'm getting caught with Maya, understand I'm not seeing the reality. Okay, I am not seeing Bhagavan there. I am not seeing the consciousness there, right? So everything is in him only, meaning, everything, that the focus completely shifts to the substrate.
The web the web has come from the spider, but the spider is not the web.
Yeah, but here the difference is web is also spider only. Okay, in our creation, yes, everything is Bhagavan only.
Yeah, because it is still attached to him, right? The spider, the web is still okay.
There is
Anyway,
no other. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will leave it here.
yeah, we will leave this here. Okay.
As a lighter note, if you could think of Spider-Man, Spider-Man, if he needs to either attack person or glow, he always puts this hand and then the web goes. So it's like a projection, straight projection. And then whether he catches hold of the other side person or misses the catch, whatever it is the person is projecting that web. That projection, we have a choice to maybe even not project that web also. We could actually, like you say, the choiceless awareness and the choiceful awareness, we could think that, do I need that projection, or may I remember that I don't need to project that, I can see the real and the unreal. Can I sharpen my discrimination power and not project those webs also, and not get caught in those also, like that. I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think to simply make it that web is not in him. The web is, the spider is there before the web. The spider is there when the web has come out. The spider is there even after the web has been retrieved.
That's it.
So the spider is not it. The web is a part of the spider. The spider, it is the spider as the web also, but the spider is separate from the web in its own way also.
Yes. It is not affected, just like the water here.
Yes.
The water doesn't reduce in quantity, okay, just because something is using it. Yet water is nourishing all the lives. Water doesn't reduce. It is just, there, doing it's just there, and just its presence is nourishing everything. Like that, Bhagavan's presence is creation. It is just there.
For us, in simple terms, he is there before, he is there during, he is there after all the Maya projections. He is the only constant, and everything is coming from him, and he will still exist even without that Maya. It's as simple as that. Okay.
So
we have
two ways.
I think successfully confused you all, but it is okay.
Any questions, please? Any questions, please go ahead. Anybody wants to share anything, please unmute yourself. Or everyone seemed to be totally confused then.
Yeah, it's, I think, yeah.
Nobody seemed to unmute. Okay. Basically, Maya projects and veils us from the real. Yes. Hold on to the real and play in the realm of the unreal is what Bhagavan says. We need to hold on to the real. Either use the Viveka or the other method, which I will personally advocate, Bhakti. Just surrender to Bhagavan. Yeah, there are so many things. Yes, Vibhuti Yoga is all about that. This is the world I see. Now, how do I see Bhagavan there? Look at the sun. The heat in the sun is Bhagavan. Look at water. The taste in water is Bhagavan. Yes, look at the mountain. The strength of the mountain is Bhagavan. Yes, look at someone who is singing, that the music coming out is Bhagavan. Look at someone who is beautifully the oration is happening. That is Bhagavan. That is what he says. Wherever you see splendor, wherever you see power, okay, wherever, even look at that, everything in nature, and you can even look at the kind of anger someone gets. Okay, it's a very beautiful, actually, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, there is an incident in his, someone, I don't remember, who was an atheist. He comes and puts in so many points, okay, to say that Bhagavan doesn't exist. It is only the world is the reality and nothing else. Okay, in front of Thakur, and Thakur is sitting there, who is an epitome of, Bhagavan himself. And he's sitting there, and everyone was thinking, now what is Thakur going to respond? How is he going to respond? He comes and then he, hugs that person and says, God, who else but God can give such an intellect to you? Okay. So in everything seeing Bhagavan. Everything, every power, every space, etyat vibhuti matsatvam. Wherever you see, look at me. The moment that is there, then we don't have to get caught with this spider web Maya, Just surrender to him, start looking at him everywhere. Someone is angry, just see that, that the anger is coming up from some basic love for something there. That is Bhagavan. Yes, someone is greedy, something, even in everything we can see. In Duryodhana also we can see Bhagavan. So how do we say Bhagavan? Wherever there is splendor, there is glory, there is power. Krishna says, no, it is just a spark of my splendor. It is not even full. Okay. So the moment we know that, he says, hold on to the Lord, and then play the entire thing. So this is how we practice in the world and slowly move, away from this Maya and hold on to the real Bhagavan. Now comes, how do we do that? Again, the last Chatushloki Bhagavatam. He talks about who is Bhagavan first. Yes, the one who was, who is, who will be. Yeah, who is beyond the Trikala, who is beyond the three avastha we saw, right? That is the reality consciousness. Then we don't see the reality because of the Maya Shakti. Then in the third shloka, he says, yes, world, what I see is Maya, but it's not just Maya. If you kind of, what do you say, untie things, you will actually start tuning to the reality. Okay. So for that, sharpen the Viveka, practice Bhakti, and then he moves on to another beautiful method, which we can see as the fourth.
Give me sharing right, Prabha. So, yeah. I will. So, fourth shloka. Okay, of the Chatushloki. First one talks about Brahman, second one talks about Maya. It said, first one is talk about Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the only reality. He existed before, he existed now, he exists. He is the only reality, which is what Bala briefed right now. And then he says, everything else is Maya. We saw, no? Maya, everything is happening in my mind only. So my mind only, it is an image. If I am seeing in the mirror, am I seeing the reality or am I seeing in the mirror an image? It is only an image. So that image is not a reality. I have never seen my face, actually. I've never seen the reality of my face. I have only seen my own face. I can never see it, right? I can only see an image. Everything that I see in this world, I see only in my mind. So it is only an image in my mind. So that itself is Maya. So when I am thinking, every thought is a Maya. Every feeling is a Maya. Every creation, oh, wow, I have done this great thing. That is also come. It is a thought process, which is a subtle process, which has converted into gross. So that also is because of Maya only. Sorry. So that is also, so that is what it says. So now here, then they ask, how do I practice? Okay, how do I know which is unreal and which is real when I am interacting in this world? Is the question. Every day I'm interacting, I am this Jagat has spun out. Right? From this mind, I am in the day, the moment I get up in the morning, I am thinking, now I have to cook the day. I have to do this. My child has to go to work at this time. I have to do this and all that. And everything is playing in my mind. My world starts getting created. I am going and I'm doing everything. First, my thought is becoming, first the memory is coming up and then, oh, I have to cook. I am going to cook this things. I need all these ingredients, comes as a thought in my mind. And from after that, I am actually executing it. So that whole creation of that cooking or whatever has come from here, from unmanifest to subtle to gross manifest, right? It has happened. So now how do I know what is real, what is unreal, how to really separate? Because for me, this is what looks real all the time. So here this shloka says, etavadeva jignasyam tattva jignasu natmanaha Anvaya Vyatirekaabhyam Yat Syat Sarvatra Sarvada. If you are curious to know what is real and what is unreal, that wanting to develop that Shakti of real and unreal is called Viveka. Okay, to develop that Viveka, they are giving one method in this shloka. Narayana has given one method called the Anvaya Vyatireka method. Okay, now which is real and which is unreal? He says Anvaya is that which has a connection, which has an association. Vyatireka is that which is separate. When something meets both these criteria, only that is real. When anything meets both these criteria. Now look at the pot. When you look at the pot, this pot, we are calling it pot, but it is only a nama rupa for clay. When clay is shaped like this, we call it pot. When clay is shaped as a jewelry, we will call it earring. When clay is shaped as a vandli, we will call it something else, right? So this pot is merely a nama rupa. It is a projection of the clay. That clay has just been shaped into a pot. That shape, it is just one shape, rupa, for which a name has been given. So it is nama rupa. But otherwise, what is it? It is only a clay. So now this clay is associated with the pot. So that is Anvaya. Now this pot breaks. So now when the pot breaks, the pot no longer exists. But does the clay exist? It still exists. So the clay is separate from the pot. The clay has a connection with the pot also, because only because of the clay the pot is there. But the clay is also separate from the pot. It can have its own existence without the pot also. Now, this is the Anvaya Vyatireka Viveka. To separate. How do you find the real and the unreal? So the pot is not real. Because if you look at the pot in connection with the clay, okay, Anvaya is meeting. But Vyatireka, now the pot is broken. Is the pot existing separate from the clay? No. So the pot is not real, only the clay is real. Making sense here? Right. So the pot does not have a separate existence. And hence it is not real. It is dependent on the clay for its existence. So it is not real. Similarly, we saw, now we will do this exercise. This Prabha had very nicely introduced in that first shloka. This whole, now there are patterns. What we see first, the moment we see the cloth, we will see patterns. And then when we go, the pattern cannot exist without colors. So the pattern is unreal and the color is real. But the color cannot exist without the cloth. So now the color is unreal and the cloth is real. Now the cloth cannot exist without the thread. So the cloth is unreal and the thread is real. Now the thread cannot exist without the cotton. So the thread is unreal and the cotton is real. I mean, we are saying more unreal than that. That is what we are trying to say. We are not saying it doesn't exist. That is also, but it has come from, its main cause is the cotton. Okay, but the thread exists. Yes, the thread exists, but it's a creation from, it is an effect from the cotton. Correct. It cannot exist. It does not have a separate existence of its own. Without the cotton, a thread cannot exist. That is what we are trying to say here. And then you keep going in. Where did that cotton come from? That cotton came from plants. How did the plants come? The plant came from Panchabhuta. You keep going on, inquiring. That is the jigyasu, that inquiry, that sense of inquiry. So then it came from Panchabhuta. All the things, living things and non-living things, are made of Panchabhuta. Now, Panchabhuta, let us come to the human being. We have, this whole body is made of Panchabhuta. We know we breathe in air, breathe out air. We know we have water urinate, we sweat. We definitely know we have water. We are drinking water also. We know there is air within. We know there is heat, Jataragni, because we feel the heat within our body. Okay, so the Panchabhuta is associated with this body. Now, does this body need its, have its existence because of the Panchabhuta, or the Panchabhuta has the existence because of the body? The body is dependent on the Panchabhuta. Panchabhuta is separate. It is not dependent on this body. So now the Panchabhuta is more real than the body. Correct? Now, where did this Panchabhuta come from? If you go in further. So even to establish this, now this body is changing. We were born in the womb. We were in the womb, then we were born, Jayate, then we grew. And as we grow, they say our cells, even in the body, every 7 to 10 years, our cells have changed in our body. So this body is constantly undergoing changes. And when I was a baby, my world was different. My world was toys. My world was my mother and father. My world was different. And then as a youth, my world is different. I'm looking at boys and girls. I'm more at that, there's attraction. That world is very different. And now then when we grow up, we have a very different world. So the mind is also changing and the body is also changing. But through all of this, what is it that is constant? I know it is the same me. Somehow I know my body has changed, my mind is changing, everything has changed, but I still know that that child also was me. This person today is also me, even though all my cells have died, right? So so what is that constant within me? It is that Atman. So that Atman in association with the body and the mind is Anvaya. I am conducting, this Atman is shining through this body and I am conducting myself, body and mind. This Atman is shining through the body and mind and I am working in this world, and hence this is Anvaya. But can the body and mind work separately without the Atman? No. But the Atman, is it there even though the body and mind are not working? We have seen it is possible, because in my waking state, my body and mind are working. In my dream state, only my mind is working. And in my deep sleep state, both my body and mind are not working. But still, I know I experience the silence in my deep sleep states. So that Atman is there even when the body and mind are not working. So the Atman's existence is separate from the existence of the body and the mind. So because the Atman works through the body and mind, the Atman has its own separate existence, Vyatireka. So the Atman is more real than everything, and there's no more cause for Atman. There is no further cause for Atman, and Atman is the supreme reality. That is why they say that is the supreme reality. We kept going with from the unreal to the more real, more real, more real, more real. When we go deeper in, it is the Atman is the supreme reality. So in our waking state also, dream and waking, we saw whether I am sleeping, waking, deep sleep, the Atman is there, the one constant throughout all of this. So what should we do? Whenever I understand that this Jagat is going to keep moving. Believe me, when I was a youth, I did not have interest in philosophy at all. My mind would get repelled by philosophy, and today I am so pulled by philosophy. So my mind changes, my world changes, everything has changed. Okay, so this Jagat changes. It's constantly changing. But this witness, the supreme consciousness shining through me as my witness consciousness, that is unchanging, not touched, but shining through my body and mind to bring sentience in my life, but has its own existence also when the body and mind do not exist. And so that is the only reality. And I, the Jivatma, am a projection of the Supreme Reality. And his consciousness in his shining through me. So the only reality within me is that higher Paramatma, that Jivatma is like that moon reflecting the sun's like consciousness. Sun's light, here the Paramatma's consciousness is shining through me as my Sakshi Bhava witness consciousness. And so that is on my way to the Paramatma is to be with that supreme consciousness. So I may be a great scientist, coming up with some wonderful inventions, creating new things. I may be a great artist coming up with a lot of new ideas and new paintings and wonderful art. But we have to understand the umbrella. Where is all this creation coming from? The creation is coming from that consciousness. Like Brahma has projected this whole world, universe, like that projection has come from there. What we are doing is only a secondary, a tertiary level creation. We cannot create completely on our own without any raw materials. So I may be a great cook, but that idea has come from within that supreme consciousness who is shining within me. I could be the greatest teacher, even the greatest gurus, but they also have the grace of, only under the grace of that supreme consciousness can that knowledge shine through them to the others. So any creation that I can take, can I take complete? When you know this, there's no ahankara, there's no mamakara. So how do I practice this? So at every point in time, I ask myself, if I have an agitation, this agitation, can this exist in the consciousness? Yes. Can this, say somebody is talking to me in a certain tone and I feel it is so real. That person is talking in this and he should not talk like that. And it is just not right. What kind of, if he keeps talking in this tone, when they grow up, how will they face the world? And if they keep talking like this, you know, we spin our own stories more and more with that. At that time, just stop and reflect and say, this whole thought process that I am having, that exists in the consciousness is shining through this thought process. But can this thought process exist on its own? No. So it is unreal. Drop that thought process. Turn your, so that is in the mind or the intellect or in the body. So turn this mind to look beyond to the supreme consciousness. 180 degrees shift. Stop looking at the world because that is unreal. So just make a 180 degrees shift and look at the witness consciousness, the supreme consciousness who is residing in your heart, who is powering your every movement, powering your every thought, powering your every action, powering your every feeling. He is the only reality. When our mind is filled with that thought, only him, then every creation is his creation and I am a nimitta matra. Nimitta means I am merely an instrument. He is powering my mind, my body, my intellect, whatever extra skills I have, whatever things I have, it is all a part of his tool. He is using ting, ting, ting and making things happen in this world. So observe and detach from that which is unreal. Observation is staying in that witness consciousness. And watch the feelings, watch the emotions, watch the thought. Then there is a separation between the witness and the between me and the emotion and the feeling. I am not the same. When I'm meditating, I go with my thoughts. Suddenly I realize, oh dear, I'm going with my thoughts. I separate myself and bring the thoughts back. So that's like an object. I can lift the object, I can put it down. So the thought, I can now bring it down. So that thought becomes an object and I am separate. And I bring, and my mind is always focused on the Lord. So meditation, that's tapas, that Narayana told Brahma at the beginning. Keep your mind. If it is Jnana Yoga that pulls you, then keep your mind on the self, the supreme self. And if it is Bhakti Yoga that pulls you, keep your mind on Bhagavan at all point in time, because he is the only reality. And as long as we are in reality, we will be led in the path of Dharma, our Swadharma. Any thoughts, any questions?
Very beautiful. So this practice the same thing we can do for this also, when we identify with that seer within. Yes, who is that? So that beautifully step by step, which Aarti took us, right? There is an experience. Yes, we are outside. Who is seeing it? Eyes are seeing. Who is seeing the eye? The mind is seeing. Who is giving the thought in the mind? Okay, because someone can watch the thought, right? There is someone who is watching the thought. Is there someone who is watching me? Nobody. So, actually speaking, our Sanatana Dharma has a view. This is the definition of God. Bhagavan is not sitting somewhere. So, Bhagavan is that which is that ultimate seer, that seer in which everything is existing. In whom or in which, whatever. So, when in this life of experience also, whenever there is an experience, it is a good practice for us. Either I'm agitated or I'm not agitated, or maybe I'm calm also, for me to shift the focus from the objects that I'm experiencing to who is experiencing. That is where then I will hold on to that reality, that self within, that Bhagavan within. Yeah, that is what Ramana also says as self-inquiry, right? Okay, my mind is agitated. Okay, whose mind is agitated? Who is watching that agitation? Shift the focus. That's all is needed. I don't have to get caught with, oh, this thought, that thought. Why is that this thought coming? I want to stop. No, it is who is getting agitated? Who is thinking? Who? So that get into that, because that is a reality, right? Imagine now I have this thought, it goes away. I have one more thought and that goes away. But I am here. So if you ask, who is more real? Me, this existence, or the thought? This existence is real. That is Bhagavan, that is self, that is God. So that's why, we need to always tune to that existence there. And yeah, that's all I wanted to.
Was confusion more confirmed or with some clarity?
Yeah, I think. Please put your feedback in the then we can close.
Okay.
Why did we God create so complicated? Maya, it is not God's creation. If turn our attention to God, then things look very simple. Actually speaking.
Everything is God's intention. Yes. It's his Leela, his play. He also wants to wake up. He does not want to be in yoga nidra. We also can't sleep the whole time, no. Like that, he also wants to play and wake up and play. Okay. Oh. Today we should understand the meaning of Asatoma Sadgamaya very well, I think, after this whole Chatushloki. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya May we move from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from ignorance to knowledge. Om peace, peace, peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bad bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.